Good evening. My name is Deb Drick. I'm the chair of the Livingston County Republican Party, and welcome to The Right Side, the podcast that gives the Republican side of issues and things. Tonight we have a great show. We have our wonderful sheriff, longtime wonderful sheriff, Mike Murphy, coming to talk to us about sheriff stuff and Senate stuff. So that's going to be an exciting conversation. I also have Dan Schifko coming, who's the 7th District Chair. He's going to talk about his upcoming plans for what's going on. But so we've got some interesting things going on at the party. Looking forward to moving them along. This Thursday, for anybody that is interested, we have our 4th Thursday social that's going to take place in Brighton, downtown at the Grand River Brewery. I believe that's something like 201 Main Street, right there at the heart of downtown Brighton. And 6 o'clock, join us for dinner, or 7 to 9 for beverage, coffee, whatnot. And it'll be fun to go. It'll be fun. It's a good time to talk on a very relaxed scale. Lots of times there's legislators there, there's other Republicans, but you get to meet a lot of new people. I was looking at the membership list and I was thrilled that we got just a chunk of brand spanking new members. So if any of you are watching, hello and welcome. Glad to see you. I see Bob Kittredge has popped in to say hello. Hi team, how you doing, Bob? So anyway, join us. You can let me know if you're coming for dinner so I can save you seats. Chair at livingstonrepublicans.com. And then if you just want to come and sit down and have a pop or any other beverage there, that'd be fine too. So we're looking forward to meeting you. We're looking forward to seeing you on Thursday. And we'll be back in just a minute, and we'll bring in Sheriff Mike Murphy. Right back.
I am Deb Drick, Chairman of the Board, Livingston County Commissioners. We are a constitutional and 2A county. We have the lowest tax millage rate and the lowest unemployment in the state. Livingston is rated one of the healthiest and safest counties in Michigan. Livingston has a balanced budget and an elite AAA bond rating, the highest possible. These 9 commissioners strive for smaller government. Our Republican values saved taxpayers over $4 million in 2024 alone. We believe Elon copied us.
Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce your Marry Me Chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
Hi, and welcome back. Welcome back to The Right Side, and we're here. You can see we have our guest here, our Sheriff Mike Murphy, And so, welcome, Mike. Glad you could come.
Great to be here.
Great to have you, and we're looking forward to all kinds of good news from you today. So, let me start by asking you how long, just to refresh everybody, how long have you been sheriff?
So this is the start of my third term. I was actually appointed when Sheriff Bizat left in November of 2016.
Okay.
And then elected.
And you were under sheriff before that?
For 12 years.
Okay.
For Bizat's entire term. Yep.
Okay, so you were a long time, and I know that my sons see you and they say, "Oh, that's our dare officer."
Yeah, nothing like making you feel old, right?
I know.
Yeah, that was early 90s. I've been with the Sheriff's Office since 1990.
Okay, all right. Well, then you're well acquainted with this community, and that makes you perfect for this role. So, tell us a little bit about kind of like your overall duties there. I mean, besides the obvious ones.
Yeah. So honestly, my job is air traffic control is probably a good way to explain it. First of all, it's hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. I've got a great staff that makes that stuff happen. HR, policy, strategic planning, that's all in my wheelhouse. And then, the part of the job that I love the most is just being out in the community. We've got a phenomenal county here. And I just love pressing the flesh, frankly. I'm a people person. And the cool thing about sheriffing is the fact that, you represent, you police to the standards of the community. So you understand what they're looking for when you get out and about. I don't think a sheriff that sits behind a desk all day long, I don't think is doing the position justice for sure.
No, I agree. So tell me about your budget. What is your budget for your?
We're about
Can you separate that, will you, too, from the jail versus the?
Yeah, so we're about 24 million this year. That's about 12, 13-ish on the jail side of the house, 12 and a half, and about 11 and a half on the field services side. So it's and we kind of refer to the sheriff's office as two sides of the house, even though we're one organization. But it's just it's very unique in the fact that that's not normal police work, right?
Right. So how many deputies? We'll break down your personnel in the non-jail part.
So we've got 35. We'll call sworn deputies. Those are what you would think of as a uniform wearing, car driving, gun toting deputy, right?
Okay.
And then we've got a detective bureau, and then we've got some other specialty units.
Okay. All right. And so at any one time, how many cars are out on the road? How many deputies are out on the road or in the office?
Yeah. So it's a tough question because we have contracts that we need to cover, but probably as a whole, any given time, probably about 10.
Okay.
But that also would include our school resource officers too.
Oh, okay.
So, those guys and gals are in the school, so maybe even more than that, maybe a dozen.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's certainly something I would never want to see leave. So talk about now the jail side, if you will. How many employees over there?
So that's about 60 deputies on that side of the house.
Okay.
And then the command staff, and they're responsible for inmate safety and security. It's a big operation. It's an important operation, and in the sheriff world, there's an old saying that the road will get you elected, the jail will get you unelected. So give you an idea.
Well, how many inmates do you hold there?
So we've got about 200 of our own.
Okay.
When I say our own, Livingston County, but we also have contracts with the Marshal Service. So if you think about how the system works, if you were arrested, I'm arrested today, for example, for whatever, I would go to the county jail, and then if I post bond, I'm out. If not, I sit there until the next court date for trial. The federal system doesn't have a county lockup per se. So if there's an arrest at the federal level being charged federally, they have contracts throughout the United States.
Okay.
In a bunch of county jails, probably tens of thousands, frankly. And then the federal inmate sits there until they can either post bond or they go off to a federal penitentiary.
Okay. All right. So how many total can you hold? That's your max?
So the capacity is 411.
Wow.
One of the best things that we did in 2015, not being short-sighted and getting behind the eight ball like we did in frankly,
remember. I
yeah,
remember.
there was two editions, right?
That was a little ugly. That was a little ugly back
It
then.
was very ugly, actually. 96, and then again in 2005.
Yeah.
We were way behind the eight ball. So this has helped tremendously, and believe it or not, it was a huge benefit to during the COVID time. We were able to segregate people and lock them down and keep COVID out of our jail for a long time. But it's nice to have the jail is a huge exercise in logistics. Is probably the best way to put that. Got to keep folks separate, right?
Right.
Male, female, classifications. You got people that don't get along. We're co-conspirators on a crime. We got to be separate too. It's logistically, it's quite the process.
Okay. Wow. It sounds like it. And okay. So let me ask you this now, as we kind of tail off on this sheriff discussion. Tell us why it's important to have a Republican sheriff. What would be different if we had a Democrat sheriff?
Well,
Most likely.
You only got to look to the county to the south, and I'm not, I certainly don't want to call out my counterpart down there, but her priorities are obviously different than mine. Mine, safety and security of the residents in. You got to understand too, and I've mentioned this before. As important as it is to have a good conservative sheriff, it's also important that the prosecutor's office is the same, and the judges. Frankly, even though we've got some judges are supposed to be nonpartisan, but even though we've got some judges that are that have been appointed by Democrats, they've done a pretty good job, in my opinion. And it really is like a tripod, right? A stool, where if you take one of those legs out, then the other two are kind of pointless, or it's going to tip over. So it's important that the sheriff runs his or her office in a rule of law type of situation, but then it's also you need the backing of the prosecutor's office and the judges to go forward. But again, it goes back to the community, right? I would never get elected in Washtenaw County. No. I would never get elected in Genesee County. I would never get elected in Ingham County. So it's important that Democrats not going to get elected in Livingston County, right? Quite frankly. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. It's tough.
Ron Gillard says we have a lot of crime with a Democrat sheriff, and I gotta believe that's somewhat true. Based on what I read, I don't know your counterpart in Genesee or in Washtenaw, but for what I read, comes off as more very concerned about the rights of the perpetrators as opposed to the rights of the victims. Yeah, and that just seems so wrong.
And it's ironic to me because we hear pretty regular from guys that we lock up. Oh, I would never go to jail if I did this in Kent County, Washtenaw County, you name it. My first thought is, well, then stay there, right? Then just stay there. Continue to do your crime there. Yeah, right. Stay out of here. But they don't.
No, unfortunately. So, okay. Any more sheriff stuff? Any sheriff news you want to give us, or anything new happening or big?
Yeah, I just want to say, so immigration has been. Well, first of all, let me say this. I just want to thank everybody in this county. This county has been great to me. I love this county, and we couldn't do what we do in public safety. It's not just the sheriff's office. We really, truly have a great public safety network here in the county. And as you would think, maybe that's kind of normal. It's really not. There tends to be little fiefdoms with, different police agencies and police versus fire and fire versus EMS and blah, blah, blah. That's not the case here. So Livingston County is very fortunate in that. I just want to touch on immigration for a half a second.
Okay.
So that's a big thing right now, obviously, at the federal level. Back before Trump was elected, the question was, hey, first of all, how many illegals do we have here? And it was putting out fires about rumors, oh my gosh, there was a airplane load that landed at Spencer J. Hardy, and they loaded up a bus and they took them to the Holiday Inn in Brighton and whatever. No. None of that stuff happened.
Wasn't that a school basketball team?
You know, just
Ground up and swallow me now.
social media, as much as we use it,
Yeah.
i.e. right now, it can be such a good tool, but man, it can be the devil's tool too. And probably going to get in trouble for this, but if I could go back in my time machine, I'd put a condom on old man Zuckerberg. So all right, but sorry.
No, sorry. I didn't know I was invited.
I just think again that social media is a devil's tool for a lot. It's useful as it can be. But anyways, I digress. So back on track. Hey Sheriff, what are you going to do? You're going to go round these people up, blah blah blah. So first of all, who's these people? We don't know. This is not Nazi Germany. We can't go door to door. Papers, please, etc. Right? But there's a potential now for sheriff's offices and actually law enforcement as a whole to do a little bit more with immigration. It's called the 287. We're doing some exploration on that to see if it makes sense. My fear, I don't know enough about it to speak too intelligently, other than it's a memorandum of understanding with the feds that you send your officers, deputies, troopers, whatever, to basically a crash course on immigration law. I think it's 4 weeks long.
Okay.
And then you get the kind of God bless you to enforce immigration laws. So that said, we would be able to, if we have contact with an illegal undocumented, we would be able to arrest that person based just solely on that, where right now we don't have the authority to do that. I still want to see if it proves a valuable tool. I'm not sure that it is, because I want to thank the Livingston County Press. I know you probably never thought I would say that, but they reached out to me the other day and said, "Hey, you started keeping track of these undocumented illegals. What's the statistics show on that?" So, latest as of 2 days ago, 8 arrests and 4 non-arrests, 4 contacts. So we've only had contact with 12 illegal undocumenteds in basically 3 months. So not sure that it's worth the effort. Not sure the juice is worth the squeeze, right? To send a couple deputies to this training, but so we'll see.
So let me just clarify that resolution that got passed. I know I want to be real clear on that. It isn't that you're supposed to just head count illegal aliens in the county. It's you're supposed to keep track of arrests or issues with illegal immigrants. Am I correct?
Yeah. So it's basically a checkbox, right? So here's the thing. Before this whole thing started too, I was getting calls. Well, how many contacts do you have with illegal immigrants? How do you And the answer was, I don't know. And of course, the question then became, well, how come you don't know? And my answer was, because we don't keep track of that. So, prior to this, if you called and said, "Hey, Sheriff, how many women do you arrest, or how many women do you have contact with, or men, or black or white or whatever," we could tell you that. But that was not a statistic because A, we were not able to enforce that, and B, it's not reported anywhere else.
Okay.
So when the decision was made to keep track, to be able to answer that question, hey, really, how big of a problem is it in Livingston County? I know we're very polarized right now in the political arena, but I really thought that would be a galvanizing thing in the sense that did we lose?
We're gonna go to a commercial real quick. We have a little bit of an issue here. We'll be right back.
You're hot.
And we're back. Here we go. Sorry about that. So, you were saying, go ahead.
Well, you know what? Technology is great when it works. That was probably Zuckerberg coming in and zapping us for that comment. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I really thought that this would be something everybody could get behind. And this is the analogy that I use for folks that disagree with me. I say, okay, so you wake up tomorrow morning, excuse me, and you walk downstairs to get your coffee, and there's some dude sleeping on your couch, right? What are you going to do? Pull a gun, call the police? What are you going to do? You're not going to say, hey, how do you like your eggs? You know, over easy or whatever.
Right.
That is exactly what's happening when folks are here illegally. Listen, Irish, German, right? Everybody in the United States, with the exception of a very, very, very small percentage of people, are not Native Americans, right? They immigrated from somewhere.
Sure.
That's not the issue. The issue is do it the right way. So
Right.
Anyways, that's talking.
Right. So Ron here is saying that he had some people come over to his house yesterday, hanging wire, and none of them speak English. That's not what Mike's looking for. These people are working. They're not causing trouble. Now, if they would have hopped your fence, or if they would have messed with your dog, or they would have broken your window, that would have been a different story. But
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of we have a huge migrant population in the south end of the county that come and work the farms. They're here on a work visa. Totally cool. You know, you're doing it the right way.
It is.
It's the folks that aren't doing it the right way.
Right. And on top of that, it's compounded by they're not doing it the right way, and they're causing trouble once they're here. They're whatever. So okay, let's put sheriff stuff behind. We're going to put your other hat on. You need to change your shirt, maybe. I don't know. So yeah. So let's talk. You blew everybody away with a statement that since 1990 you've been in our sheriff department, and you've worked your way from dare officer on up to sheriff, and you've got a great run as a sheriff, and you're doing a great job. And I don't see that changing anytime soon, as far as you're having trouble getting elected or whatnot. And all of a sudden we're going to go and we're going to run to Lansing, and we're going to be a Senate. That is so that's going to be a whole new world. It's going to be by all means a pay decrease. I know what they make over there. And so, I mean, will you be good at it? Yes. But the big question I think is on everybody's mind is why. So please explain that.
So I would be happy to explain that. So I'm in the shower one day. I slipped on a bar of soap, bang my head, and here we go. Right. So no, on a serious note, I'd been approached about running for governor from a number of people. I had been approached about running for U.S. Senate from a number of people. And I said, there's just no way. First of all, I don't want to go to D.C. I don't want to do a statewide race. It just does. I'm not interested.
Right.
And I, frankly, when I ran for sheriff this last term, I had every intent of staying in this office, riding out maybe this term, maybe one more, I don't know, and then riding off into the sunset. However, that seed was planted about another office, and I started looking around and just thinking, and realized that Senator Tice's seat was up at the end of 2026. I will be 60 in March of 2027, and that allows me to draw my pension from the county. I'll have 36 and a half years in at that time. So you're absolutely right, as you point out. I could not take the initial pay cut. However, being able to draw my pension from the county, and then what the senator makes, I would be able to. It would actually be a little bit of a raise. So that got the wheels turning too. I'm in a great spot with our office right now. I've got a great undersheriff that's his personality is different than mine, but as far as how we think, almost clones that way. I've got a great stable of young folks. And again, as we said, it'll be 36 and a half years by then. I'm starting to I don't want to. This is going to sound bad, but kind of been there, done that. I've taken it about as far as I can take it.
Nope, I understand that.
It's time for some fresh blood, right? So I thought, you know what, let's give it a shot. So reached out to a bunch of people. Said, hey, yep, I think it's a good idea. I'd support you. Lana has endorsed me, number one, and number two, said that she'll do anything that she can to support. And to me, that's the biggest compliment there
Sure.
can be, because
Sure.
she does it. She's
Sure.
she's been there. She knows. And obviously we know each other. So yeah, so that's the plan. We'll give it a go and hope we get elected and be able to be a voice not just for this. And the other thing too is I'll be able to continue to do what I do, right? Being active in the community, and then actually pick up about 8 more townships to
Right.
to be active there too. Again, I don't think that you can be a good representative in Lansing just like a sheriff if you're sitting
That's right.
behind a desk.
No, you cannot. I've worked with many of them, and yes, the active ones are not behind their desk all the time. The good ones. So, what are you have targets? Do you have things kind of like an area? Obviously, and you probably want to go in there and do criminal justice of some sort. Anything else interest you? Elections or I mean, is there a trajectory there? I guess I'm looking at. Or are you still thinking about?
Yeah, so probably the biggest one, obviously, is public safety, right?
Sure.
That's something that I know. One of my issues that I have with politicians at all levels, frankly, is when they get elected, they think they're automatically the resident expert on whatever.
Oh yes.
Listen, I don't know anything about engineering. I don't know anything about agriculture.
Right.
That's not how it is. So I will be happy to reach out to folks when there's things that are introduced in Lansing to see, hey, how does this work in practicality from somebody that's doing the job.
That is the way it's supposed to be done,
Yeah.
right there.
And I also my goal for the next year really is just to be a sponge and listen to folks and learn the process. My focus has been Livingston County for the last 35 years. Never had any inkling, frankly, to do state level stuff. But now that I've made that decision, there's going to be a huge learning curve. So that's public safety is one. I would like to think that I would bring a lot of common sense to Lansing. Probably one of the folks running for the legislature that doesn't really care about passing laws. I think we've got too many, frankly. I think that there needs to be somebody that says, "Hey, wait a minute, time out. Do we really need to do this?" One of the things that we do at the sheriff's office is if there's an issue that comes up, we look at that and say, "Okay, is this a weekly thing? Is it a monthly thing? Is it a yearly thing? How often does this happen?" If it's something that only happens once every 2 years, why are we spending a bunch of time and energy and effort trying to solve this?
Agreed.
Right. The other thing with the state is they think that they know what's best for counties too. Firm believer that everything should be handled at the lowest possible level. And the prime example with that one was the whole wind and solar farm. Right?
God, that was a mess. That's a mess.
Public Service Commission
Just
took
a
that
mess.
over. It took
Yep.
the locals right out of it. I mean, what are we doing here? That's insane to me. So there was a few things that, again, was kind of the catalyst to do this. But I'm going to be that guy that just says, "Hey, wait a minute, time out. Do we really need to do that? And are we doing this to solve a problem in Livingston County and the rest of the state could really care less?
Right.
Or is it something
Right.
that's a statewide issue?"
Yes. Well, and you're going to come in. Hopefully, you're coming into a majority. We're going to all work hard to get you there. Getting you in, but then getting the rest of the state to be on board, and then you're going to be busy because you're not going to be creating laws as much as you're going to be undoing them.
Right.
Because some of the stuff that has been created in this last couple of years, where the Democrats had all the power, has just been crazy, and we're all seeing the effects of it, and it's kind of interesting because I know you've seen this too. They have spun so hard, and like kids in a candy shop go back, and now they're all sick to their stomach. They've eaten everything they can, and they can't sustain it.
Right.
And they're instead of saying, "Okay, we pushed it too far. Maybe if we would have," and they lost big time across the whole country.
Yep.
And they're digging in.
Yeah.
They're just digging their heels in, and they're refused to say, "Yeah, we might have gone a little too
wrong.
far. Let's back." I did post. I know I saw, and I should play it. It blew me away. I posted a Democrat. I don't know if he's a senator, a U.S. senator, or a U.S. congressman, talking about his own party. He says they're all leaving, and he says, "I'm going to be vilified for standing here but they're wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. And I
Yeah.
thought, wow.
My hats off to him, right?
Yes,
For
yes,
saying that.
yes.
Frankly, I hope they continue to dig in because it's just going to make it that much
Agreed,
easier
agreed.
for us.
And that was my point, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. They listen to 10% of their loudest constituents that are so far left that it's ridiculous. And they were all in. All the chips are
That's
in.
right.
And now, not so much. And now they're trying to figure out how to backpedal, as you mentioned. So.
One of my favorite guys that I like to listen to on the reels or whatever is John Kennedy. I wish we could get him for Lincoln to hear from John Kennedy from Louisiana. He is just funny. And he was talking about, some of the stuff that he has to deal with and the arguments they make. And he said, we've got a real great, we Republicans have a great plan. He said, the Republican plan is Operation Let Them Speak. It was perfect because awesome. I know my statement to people when I hear that kind of stuff, whether it's online or it's, in an email or thank you for those opinions. Thank you. Every single time you speak publicly, you send another independent or swing voter my way. Right. So by all means, thank you for President Trump. You did this. So
I'll put you on your Christmas card.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, so public safety is one of the ways you want to go, and you want to make sure you start maybe working to pare down some of the statewide control and go more local. Anything else that's kind of you're looking forward to, or?
Yeah, I'm looking for the change. Frankly, I'm a stimulus kind of guy.
Right.
I like new stuff. I like experiencing new stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm up for the challenge. I think it's going to be a great.
No, I think we're pretty much all in agreement that you're up for that challenge. And as far as your reign as sheriff, I know you and I've worked together on the leadership for many, many years. And we always talked about leadership. You have so many skills and you rise with your skills. And eventually your skills have now been given and things are producing, but they're not being, the new skills need to come to uplift the next one. Yeah. So, I can see that. I can see that you got a good guy, and we'll have to get your undersheriff on the show and let him talk. He's a Republican, isn't he? Okay, all right. Yeah, just making sure. All right, Jason, now you can come on. we had to pass you the test there, but we'll get Jason on and we'll have him talk. I'm assuming, has he made any kind of decisions or thoughts about running? Or is he gonna...
So he was a little mad at me, to be honest, because when I asked him to be undersheriff and he accepted, he was in a similar position that I'm in now. He was a former chief of Green Oak,
right?
With I don't know 25, maybe 30 years there.
Okay.
So he retired, was able to draw his pension from there, and then come over to the sheriff's office. So when I asked him about that, I said, listen, I got. That was when previous undersheriff Jeff Warder left, but there was time left on that term. I said, I got to finish this term. I'm going to do one more, which would be this one, and then possibly one after that, but I'm really not sure. So, God willing, 8 years, whatever. He goes, hey, that works out great. I'm with you. We can ride out together. That works good with my wife's retirement, et cetera. So when I first told him I was thinking about it, you could kind of see the blood drain from his face, and then when I said, I'm going to do it, he's like, dang it, but he's starting to get over it. Okay, he realizes. So the way that works, just if you don't know, I step down midterm, assuming I get elected to the Senate. Then it will be the county prosecutor, Carolyn Henry, the county clerk, Betsy Hunley, and probate judge, Miriam Kavanaugh, will make the appointment to fill the rest of my term. Right. And then he would run for sheriff.
And he's willing to do that? Or
he is. Okay. Because I didn't want him just to be a placeholder to have.
Right.
His plan really is to work, 8 more years. So.
Okay.
And I'll do everything that I can to make sure that he gets elected again. We've got a lot of consistency there. I'll do everything I can to lobby the 3 ladies to make sure they appoint him too. Not going to be shy about that.
No. He's the right guy for the job. I mean, there's nobody. I would imagine there's nobody that would be able to have that bird's eye view, better than you. So I would certainly take your word for it. So, any more you want to talk about, or any other?
I can go on forever, but I think you got other guests here, so I just appreciate the time, and I would encourage you to check out the website, MikeMurphyForSenate.com, learn a little bit more about that side of things, and we do have a fundraiser coming up, as a matter of fact, on May 6th, Taco Tuesday gig. So, love to have you at that. And
the fundraiser's where, when?
Fundraiser is May 6th at Crystal Gardens.
Okay.
6 to 8. It's
Okay.
a Taco Tuesday gig.
Oh.
And I'll be honest with all those out there. I know this is going to be on the World Wide Web for everybody to access. I'm not going to be shy. My whole goal is to raise a whole bunch of money.
Oh, sure. You're gonna need
this
it.
first fundraiser, and then just see what happens, and send a pretty strong message to anybody that's thinking about running. Hey, you're gonna have your hands full, brother or sister, if you decide to take me on. So.
Well, there's something else too that I think a lot of people don't understand, and that is, let's just say Mike raises a bunch of money, and let's just say he's unopposed, and then people say things like, "Oh, we don't need to give him any more money. He's not opposed. He's going to win this thing." That isn't true. Let me tell you what happens with a senator's bank account, the CTE, the Committee to Elect bank account. In a situation like this, what's our main goal politically for the state next year? Get majority. Right. So what happens is, for these senators and state reps that are in safe seats, they're still raising money, even if they're unopposed in safe seats. And what they do is they give money to what's called either the House Republican Campaign Committee or the Senate Republican Campaign Committee, who then disperses it out to more risky situations where, you get split districts and things. And so any money that Mike raises that he doesn't need for his own race, he can donate a big chunk of that to the Senate SRCC, and who will then help other senators. And, Mike not needing to knock doors in his own district, I guarantee all the Senate staff and other senators will be knocking doors all day, every day, and in other districts that that are more split. So so you can try to flip them. So don't ever think just because he's unopposed or he's going to win or whatever that he doesn't need your money. He does. Yeah. The whole state does. Remember, this is for the state. This year for Michigan, or this next term for Michigan, is every bit as important as the last one was for the country. So just remember that we have to win that governor, and we have to win the Senate. Otherwise, you saw what we have to deal with. We're going to be dealing with solar farms. So anytime you don't want to go to a fundraiser or you don't want to give money, you look outside and see the solar farms that you're not going to get to change because you didn't.
Question for Mike.
Yeah, we got a question over here.
Yeah, so the only way we can give you money is just through the fundraiser, or do we have electronic way?
No, you got electronic way. As a matter of fact, if you go to that website, MikeMurphyForSheriff.com, there's there, so you can do the. Again, I'm not a Zuckerberg fan. I'm an old-fashioned write a check, and it's got to be a check. It's got to be personal. It's in.
It can't be corporate.
Yeah, it can't be corporate.
Mm-hmm. What's your max?
$24.50 per person.
Okay. Per person. So all right. Yep. So Ron Glar chips in here and says, "Remember where you came from, who you represent, and be responsive to your constituents and their needs. It isn't about you; it's about them. A little humility goes a long way." I think Mike Murphy has got that lesson down pat. So I think we're doing good. So, all right. Well, Mike, thanks again for coming in, and we're glad that you came, and wish you well on this thing. And you're not going to be a stranger on this podcast. Anything interesting happens, please let your undersheriff know that to expect a call from me before too long. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Thanks, and we'll be back in a little bit with our next guest.
I am Jay Drick, Chairman of the Board, Livingston County Commissioners. We are a constitutional and 2A county. We have the lowest tax millage rate and the lowest unemployment in the state. Livingston is rated one of the healthiest and safest counties in Michigan. Livingston has a balanced budget and an elite AAA bond rating, the highest possible. These 9 commissioners strive for smaller government. Our Republican values save taxpayers over $4 million in 2024 alone. We believe Elon copied us.
Camera
Bunny's
on.
Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce your Marry Me Chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
Hi. Okay. On behalf of our major sponsor, Jason Hunley from Premier Financial in Brighton, he asked me to read about the exaltedchrist.com. John Adams warned that the Constitution is wholly inadequate without a moral and religious people. As conservatives, we must reclaim the faith that shaped it, rooted in Jesus Christ and the Bible. To help you understand the historic Christianity that our county was founded on, check out theexaltedchrist.com, a resource website proclaiming Christ as King. The Exalted Christ offers resources to help you understand historic Christianity. Visit theexaltedchrist.com for articles, podcasts, and a video series exploring scripture and key historical topics. Get free resources today at www.theexaltedchrist.com. And we're back. And with me now is the brand new 7th District Chair of the Republican Party of our district. He is in the Congressional District 7, which is Tom Barrett's district. And when you, as a whole, that's what that district does. But it also has other functions as well. So welcome, Dan. Thanks for coming on and talking to us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background as a Republican and kind of some of the things you've done, and then we'll go from questions from there.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I tell people I realized I was a Republican in 1980 when we had Mondale versus Reagan and the abortion issue came up. I immediately knew I must be a Republican because I couldn't agree with anything the Democrats wanted to do. I got more, then shortly after that, I met my wonderful wife and started raising a family and didn't get too involved except for voting every election. Then in 2008, my wife and I started running Memories under contract to buy. One day in 2008 happened to be the start of the Great Depression and Obama's first term.
Right.
Wes Nakagiri came in 2012, and he said, "Hey, I want to have a meeting here. My place that was meeting rented out, and I was thrown out. I need a place to meet." I said, "What kind of group do you have?" He said, "It's called Retake Our Gov. It's a Tea Party group." I said, "Well, come in on Mondays or Tuesdays because those are my slow nights." He said, "Well, how much?" I said, "I can't charge a group like you. I get to go to the meetings without leaving work. Just ask everyone to come in and buy a drink or have dinner, and I get to come to the meetings." I started meeting all the people involved. Wes did a great job. All the elected officials and all the regular party officials started coming. And I watched the Tea Party and the Livingston County Republican Party merge into one group. From at that point, I got more and more involved. Fast forward to 2016, I became the treasurer for the Livingston County Republican Party. I did that for 2 years with Dan Houlihan and 4 years with Megan Reckling. In 2022, I left that role and I started working on raising money for Tom Barrett. When Dan Houlihan decided he was going to retire from District Chair, it was I decided it was time to get involved.
Okay.
Uh,
You're also in Brighton Township.
I'm a Brighton Township trustee.
Yes. And how long have you done that?
I'm on my second term. I started out on Utilities Committee. I went from there to the Planning Commission, and then I had the supervisor ask me to run as a trustee. I said, I don't really want to be an elected official. He said, I need you to do this. I said, why would you say it like that? He said, I want somebody who will ask all the questions everyone's afraid to ask and say all the things people are afraid to say. I said, I don't think I'll get elected a second term, but that sounds like fun. I'll do it. So turns out we're in a wonderful township. We are fiscally conservative. At the same time, we keep our roads in great shape. We take really good care of the township responsibilities, and it's a real honor to be able to serve in that way. I wish every township was as focused on efficiency and tight with money as we are. It's amazing how much you get done when you focus on just what should be done.
Good. That's good to know. So we have a question here, and I'm trying to figure out what it means. Bill Schreiber wants to know, isn't she the one who put 2 liberal judges on the Michigan Supreme Court out of Livingston County? Who's she? So I don't know that we talked about a she.
Might be from the conversation with Mike.
Must be.
I don't know. I don't know. So who is she, Bill? Type in when you get a second. Type in who is she, and we'll answer that for you. So anyway, so now you're district chair. You got elected, and that was a great convention that we did, and I was real proud of us. This was my first convention as chair, and your first convention to get elected chair, and we broke the record. Livingston County in the 7th district was the first one out. We got all our business done. Boom, 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 boom. We didn't mess around. Everybody agreed. We voted. You. Yep. Okay. We're slate. Let's vote them all. Okay, we're good.
So Dan, did you grow up one day and just say, "Man, I really want to be 7th district chair"?
No. What happened was I have 3 grandchildren, and I want my grandchildren to have the America that I believed in when I was a kid. I know it wasn't quite the ideal that I believed in, but it's a worthy ideal. And if we don't work for it, we're not going to have it. I think Ronald Reagan, I might misquote him a little bit, but he said, freedom isn't given to us. Each generation has to fight for it. And I have to set things up for my grandchildren to have what we have right now. If we don't do it, we're going to lose it. And that's why I'm involved. As district chair, I want to make people understand that what they call the midterm elections are as important to Michigan as the national elections are to our country.
Agreed.
If we continue to stay at home and let Democrats win office, we're not going to get this state back to where it could be and where it should be. So I'll just kind of segue into my plan. Our first meeting.
Good, that was my next question. Oh, that was perfect.
Our first executive committee meeting will be on April 10th by Zoom. There's 30 members of the committee, including our county chairs. We're going to form our 3 main committees, which are elections, communications, and fundraising. At that point, I'm going to work with my county chairs to try to get a great database. I want to make sure that everybody that is a registered member of any of our 7 county parties has our emails, knows what we're doing, knows what our events are. From there, I'm going to ask people to let us know who their friends are that may not be part of the party, but share our values and would like to be involved and would like to know. If I want to do all that by Memorial Day. I think at that point we can start raising some money to start doing things over the summer, and hopefully set a good example that we can pass this on to all the other districts and really get people connected and get them out to vote in 2026. We need to get Mike Murphy elected. We need to take our governorship, our Secretary of State, our Attorney General back. We need to get Tom Barrett reelected. We need to get 2 Republican senators, hopefully, in the U.S. Senate.
Sure.
And we have a unique situation here in Michigan. We have the 3 big seats and every House and every Senate seat up for election. This is huge.
This is it.
We need to organize like the Democrats as far as contacting people and getting the vote out. And between people like you and hopefully my efforts, we succeed and we get it done. It's going to start right here in Livingston County. As you said, our district was done less than an hour. There was one district that had to finish up the next morning. They got kicked out of the hall.
I know. I remember that. It wasn't us.
No, we did it in record
We
time.
were the first ones at the after celebrations. We were sitting there all by ourselves. There was nobody else there.
Like, are we in the wrong place?
Yeah, no, they're still deliberating. Okay, not us.
So, but yeah, that's where I'm at. That's why I'm here.
Well, good. So tell me about your goals for your committees. What kind of fundraising, I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
So your communications, what are you looking for your communications committees to do?
The communications committee is going to be gathering our data, organizing it, verifying it, and setting up a website. We've been operating on a shoestring. We don't even have a proper MailChimp program.
Okay.
So all these things are going to be communication. And when we're done, it's basically going to be what is, I'm sure you do here. We're going to set up so that information goes out, questions and concerns come in, and people know what's happening. That's the main goal there. Elections. Bottom line is my main goal is Tom Barrett, and my secondary goal is everyone else with the race in our district that needs our help, that in any way, shape, or form. We are hopefully going to show how to get along, how to share information,
Sure,
and get the word out.
Oh, absolutely. That's key. There's not one district, and I'm looking forward to a meeting with the other districts or the other counties in your district, because I would be the first one to say, let's collaborate, let's share resources, let's share ideas, let's share experience, because this state is too important for anybody to start peeing on trees, trying to mark territory.
Well, you're gonna like my second Zoom meeting is gonna be with all the county chairs.
Oh, good.
So,
Looking forward to that.
I'm gonna be calling you tomorrow to start scheduling dates.
All right. Well, we can do that. So elections. Tell me about your and I'm talking about your elections committee. Obviously, I know what the goal is, but what about your elections committee? How do you see them functioning, and how do you see them? What do you see them doing?
Well, I'm really new at running the district, so I will say I have Dan Houlihan on speed dial.
Okay.
I have Norm Schinkel, who Dan replaced, also on speed dial. I have Ron Poth, who is the vice chair, working with me. So they're going to steer me. I don't want to say things I just don't have a lot of experience.
Okay.
So they're going to help me on how to do the elections properly. I could give you briefs.
Just that kind of goals, or what do you see them doing? Like, I'm trying to. Anybody watching this will say, "Oh, I can do that," or "I can help with that." So.
Well, that's. I am going to reach out and invite for everybody listening. We have 30 elected committee members. I'm going to invite anyone who wants to be involved to join us. You do not have to be elected to be involved in any of our committees or any of our events. It's an open door. The more people we have helping, the better off things go. I'm a firm believer that you find people to volunteer in the area they want to.
Okay.
If you want to do it, you do it cheerfully, and you put good effort into it. And with enough helping hands, we'll get it done. So let me pull up my cheat sheet
go
here.
Right ahead.
But at this point, my main bullet points on elections.
Okay.
So I can open this paper up.
I've got my paper up here. You can have that side.
So the primary focus is going to be to update and grow our database and our walk list. We're going to be communicating with our county chairs. We're going to work with the state committee, and I'm glad I looked at my cheat sheet. My primary focus at the state is going to try to get everybody to work on these data lists. Over my years with the county, and I've been on state committee with the district for 2 terms, there's always talk about bad lists, bad data lists, bad walk lists, bad email lists. The Democrats don't have that problem.
I know.
They have great lists. We have to be better than them at this. So I'm going to ask the state, get each county to go through their list, give us good information, and share it where it's appropriate. We don't want to put it out. We don't want to put lists out to just anybody, so you get a bunch of junk emails, or you get
Right.
hate emails. But we do want to have it available to the key people, and that's going to be my primary focus with the state. And then we're going to also we're going to work with all the Republican candidates in our area and assist with it whatever way we can. And then we're also going to try to find various parties and clubs in our area that we can recruit candidates and leaders for, and through our outreach.
Good.
So,
Good. When we got, in our area, we obviously Mike Murphy's now, we just spoke with him and he's running for Senate. I don't foresee a big fight there, but, as we talked about, raising money in a Senate is, raising money in the Senate and even if he doesn't need it for his race, it goes to others that do. But we do have, for example, Brian Ignatowski. That's partly our district part and partly Washtenaw, and we really need to get all hands on deck for him because he can keep that house, from flipping again.
I've spoken with Brian since before he announced, and I assured him that our district would help, and that I was very sure that you would be helping.
Oh yes,
we could.
Oh yes.
We're going to get that area.
Sure.
We're going to turn it red.
Yes.
Brian's a good guy. He's not afraid to go to Ann Arbor. And I think the key there is to get all the people that are out county have more in common with us than they do with people in the city. But if they feel outnumbered and they feel that there's nothing they can do, they're going to stay home. We have to get good communications so they're empowered and inspired to get out and vote.
Dan, what about training? Deb's done an incredible job, especially in 2024. She really helped people see what was around the corner and what they could expect to see, especially the new candidates. But from our standpoint, from just judging from the 2024 elections, there was no synergy on what walk list we were using. What can the 7th District do to help us get all of the counties solidified using this, marching the same way? Like Deb uses the term marching east. It doesn't really matter, if it's like the perfect direction or not. As long as we're going the same direction, we're getting somewhere.
That's why my second Zoom is going to be with the county chairs, and I'm going to try to get them to work together, try to inspire them to work with us, and let them know we have successful programs. Deb's been more than generous in her offers to train people, and we're going to try to get people to take her up on that.
Yeah.
The worst thing that's going to happen is I don't get people to respond, but it's not going to be for lack of trying.
No, we're gonna go after this. This year, obviously, we have city elections this year, and that are up. The city of Howell, city of Brighton, and there's been a lot of interest around the city of Howell as far as new candidates wanting to take on some of the incumbents there. So we're going to be hosting a training for that very soon. And for anybody else that wants to join, but generally somewhere over the summer, I'll have, or in the late spring, I will have a training that basically says, if you are even thinking about running in the future, whether it's now, next year, next decade, whatever, these are the things you need to know. Here's what you need to know before you take that leap. Here's what you need to know to make sure you're ready. And our training, and then we have a second training. Once you've made that leap, once you've filed, now you need to know what to do next. So then we have part 2 of that, which is, all right, you filed, now what do you do? How do we start? What do we do? Then there's a part 3 after that. That's basically, okay, you're filed, you're in it. What are the strategies? What are the media strategies? You're now looking at debates. How do you do this? Should you do this? Now you're getting attacked. How should you respond? So it's all those kind of advanced things. But I will tell you, those who followed, and Rob will tell you, those who followed our program didn't just won, they won at the top of their ticket. So we did good.
Yeah. Well, I think Tom says it's dollars and doors.
Dollars and doors, yeah.
Yeah. And Lana said same thing. Ann says the same thing. Bill Rogers, Joe Hune, they've all told me knocking on those doors, knowing how to do it is everything. If you don't get out there, get your message out. And what we have that they didn't have, we have our social media. We can still reach out to people. We can't knock on every door.
Right.
We can at least get our agenda and our ideals out to everybody else.
Well, and the dollars in the doors, how do you ask for dollars? That's part of the class. How, yes, it's easy to say dollars, but how do you do a fundraiser? What are different ways to raise money? What are different avenues? How do you walk up to somebody you don't know and say, how do you craft your message that will sell them to make how do you craft your message to talk at a door? So there's, how do you set up your family and set up your personal life in order so that you have time for doors. It's that's the kind of things these classes talk about. So we're going to be doing some here real quick for city people to make sure they're ready to run, and then we're going to do them again. And I invite anybody in the district, in any of this 7th district, if they want to come and learn, that's just fine. We'll definitely do that. And I'm sure what I'm hoping to see from the district, and I know how collaborative you are, so I'm not worried about this, but I would love to see other counties that say, look, we're really good at membership. We're really good at organizing walking drives. This is how we do it. Yes, thank you.
Share ideas.
That's probably not my strength. My strength is trainings, but I would love to have that kind of experience shared with me, or maybe have some people that these guys are really good at fundraising. Okay, let's set that up. So
I'm involved in the Builders Association as well, and we literally have a state list and a national list of people's ideas of how to fundraise.
Good.
On small groups, mid groups, large groups, and it's really helpful to if we keep sharing this data, we're going to do better. We're going to improve.
Agreed.
The one thing I do want to push to everybody is positive messages. We can't go. We spent my whole lifetime. I saw us as conservatives responding to what we're not. We have to say, that's not who we are, and then say positively, this is who we are.
Right.
This is what we're for.
Right.
We're good people. We don't have hate for anybody. We have values that we're trying to protect and push forward. But we have to do it in a positive way. We can no longer be defined by what we're not. We have to be defined by who we are.
Besides that, the other side right now is so screaming over the top negative that I don't know if you heard it or not. I was talking earlier. The Republican strategic plan is Operation Let Them Speak. And oh my gosh, it's crazy.
But from our side, at least from a Livingston County side, we did a strategic plan on 2024 and one in 2025. Both were outstanding. We were able to get a lot of support from people and a lot of great ideas that we wouldn't have come up with, right?
Yeah.
And and the whole idea, Deb and Anna, they both thought this thing up, and it was great, and it's been an anchor for our county. Is there anything with the 7th district that you're planning for that?
Well, if you're looking at, just let me throw that out at you. I would be happy to do a strategic plan for the 7th district. I'd be happy to facilitate that.
Absolutely. We're going to use your expertise in training, and again, I'm going to bring all our other county chairs or their reps. Again, as I said earlier, I'm going to encourage them, if it's not something they want to do, find someone in their party that does want to head it up. So we share this and we grow. I think we should take the success of Livingston County, spread it through the district, and hopefully make it spread like a wildfire throughout the state. I would like the rest of the nation to go, wow, those guys are doing something really right, there you go, and let's do it.
Yes.
And I think we really do have great people. We can be a model of how to do it right.
I agree. And the nice thing about the strategic plan in Livingston, the way we did is we didn't just invite the executive committee. We invited everybody, every Republican that was interested. You came. We had people that weren't former committee members, former chairs, current people, past people that have brand spanking new, and they came and it's great because even if new people have perceptions and they perceive things, and we need to know. I mean, if you've been doing something for 30 years, you don't see it with fresh eyes anymore. So having somebody that's brand new, even it's a great way to learn.
And that's another thing that I'm trying to do with the 7th. I've kept Paul Funk, who was the former secretary, who's been involved in Livingston County Republican Party, formerly very involved in Oakland County Republican Party. I got Paul back involved. He's actually hopefully going to be my godfather to communications. Each one of my committees has an oversight person. I'm going to be doing elections. Paul's going to be doing communications, and Marianne's going to be doing fundraising. But we're going to have other chairs because we need to train people.
Sure.
When we move on, we want 2 or 3 layers deep. We don't want this to fall apart and have people reinvent the wheel. We want to be able to say, we got great ideas, and we have methods to keep getting new ideas, and we have ways to get people involved and engaged and listened to. That's one thing in a lot of groups I've been involved. People say, well, so and so does this and the other guy does that, so you just stand in the corner and watch. We can't ever let that happen. If somebody comes with enthusiasm, we have to find a place for them to be involved.
Oh, agreed. I my favorite part of my day is when I open the email. Somebody emails me and says, "Hey, I'm great at this and great at this, but I don't do this very well. Can you use me?" Heck yes! Just give me a minute to think of something, and I'll the next day. Okay, here's what I figured. Could you do this? Absolutely. And it's wonderful to be able to use people, and it's better for us too because we use them. We put people where they're comfortable and where they're good at something, and we benefit, and they're happy.
Yeah, that's how you lead. You let people do be involved. You let them run the ball.
Agreed.
So
now
agreed.
Several other districts are really good at running events. Is there anything that 7th District can do to have some unique events of their own? Not a Lincoln Day dinner, everybody's doing those, right. But an event of your own that isn't like D2. They have a rally, that they host, and they have an all-day rally. Last one was at a fairgrounds. Hugely successful. Do you have any plans for that?
Absolutely. My first one, I don't want to say where, but it's someplace we all know. But we will be doing basically a picnic and cornhole competition.
Oh.
So I'm going to try to get each county to put a team together.
Okay.
And then let everyone else that wants to put a team together as well. We have a venue that's very suited for a country style picnic. You can probably guess who I'm talking about.
I'm already there. I know where you're going.
So until we have a date, I don't want to say it out loud. But that's going to be my first event. We also have very generously. I was given the ability to get to the Lansing Country Club at cost through a member that supports our work.
Nice.
So someone else planted a seed. He said, "Why don't we do something at the fairgrounds?" I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we're going to figure it out.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
We are going to figure out. We're going to do a
bring it, Trump.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't get any better than that right there. I would just that'd be it. We can retire right there. We did it.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's a worthy goal. Let's try to do it.
Okay. All right. Let's go right now.
If you aim for third place,
That's right.
you're not as far as you're going.
That's right. You miss every shot you don't take. So, all right. That's all good stuff, and I'm glad to hear it because I think that we can. I guess I felt in the past, and this is. Let me be really clear. This is, no fault of any former chair or any former committee person or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I've always kind of felt like we were all separate little silos. The state is here, and the district's there, and the county's here, and. And maybe, I don't know, it could be just me. And I think some of the people that have kind of integrated in and out, maybe Dan Wallahan, coming in and out of all of them, I think that maybe he wouldn't feel that way. But I think for the average person, it just feels separate. And I'd love to see more integration with activities or information or whatnot. So, when you get a newsletter together, you send it to us, we'll disseminate it for you or whatever.
Well, first off, I'm the first chair of the district that has a sitting representative in a long time.
Okay.
So I've got a huge advantage. I can talk about what Tom's doing, have Tom come to our events and speak. He's an awesome guy. Him and Murphy are on the same level in my respect list. They're just really wholesome people. So that helps us a lot.
It does.
The other thing is, we went through a little bit of a kind of a change in our county party, and we came out better for it.
Mhm.
And the state's going through the exact same thing. So we have to take what we learned in the changes in the county and help show the state how to come out bigger and better. I think we have a good chair. We have very open-minded.
Mhm.
I like all of our vice chairs. I think they're going to be receptive to being more enthusiastic and more integrated in our
Sure.
approach.
I do agree with Deb. She hit the nail on the head. The last time around, we were siloed, and we reached out as much as we could to different counties, and in a lot of the counties we made an admirable, try
Mhm.
to work together. But I think the strategy for the state level and then for the district level has to come down to the county, right? So that we know what our operating parameters are or whatnot. And then it hasn't existed before now. But Deb's right. The Democrats are in disarray.
Mhm.
This is an offensive.
This is our
This is our
opportunity.
We
Yes.
play either a great offense or a mediocre offense, and we know what the result's going to be next year,
Yep.
right? Okay.
And it absolutely couldn't agree with you more. Again, we need to take our positive message out and keep the people that voted for our people engaged, and bring more people. We need to win. As I love when Trump said, it's got to be too big to ring. We have to have so many people out there that there's no doubt, and we do have the right message. Again, we're pro. I say this. I'm not a constitutionalist. I'm a Declaration of Independence person. I believe in all those rights recognized that God
Agreed.
grant us. And our Constitution was simply an attempt to put those rights into, to codify those rights. But that's what we stand for. Everybody needs to be treated with the same respect. Everybody has the same rights. People need to see we're not against anybody. We're for everybody. If we don't agree, we can respectfully disagree.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the way we've always been, and it's just odd that I every time I hear us painted as a Nazi, I think, well, what are you talking about?
I've literally been going online, copying the definition of Nazi and pasting that on people's sites that call us that. I'm like, I don't think you know what the term means.
No.
Same with the fascist. I'm like, you don't know what that term means. Biden was actually the embodiment of a fascist.
Yes.
You remember the day when people who actually drew the swastika on things were called the Nazi?
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Well, and we have, I guess the other one is the big screaming, as the Democrats are screaming at Republicans how they're Nazis and how they're the party of hate, as they're hating on us. And this is just like, so wait a minute, let's just get this clear.
We're all inclusive. But
hate has no place here unless you hate a Democrat. I'm sorry, unless you hate a Republican.
We're open-minded unless you disagree with us.
Yeah, hate has no place here except for we hate Trump.
No place unless you like Trump, and we hate you.
That's right. We hate anybody that likes Trump.
My kids are all in their 30s, and when they were in school, I used to tell them, people are going to tell you to be open-minded, but you need to understand what that really means. To be open-minded means to listen to other ideas and to see if they have any substance, if they're bringing in new information, any new facts that may make you change your view.
Right.
What they want you to believe open-minded means is empty-minded, and just whatever they say, you just go, oh, okay, and you said it, I'm just going to believe it with absolutely no facts and no truth.
No, that's exactly what they're looking for. Open-minded has a very different definition. So, and I don't know. We believe in rights, and I've been.
We could probably talk for 3 hours on that subject alone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Better order.
Actually, ask them. What are they doing?
What are you doing over there? So you guys want to hang out and talk some more? So no, this is. I mean, it's always a great conversation, and looking forward to what we're doing in the district, and I am looking forward to some adhesiveness, like I said, cohesiveness, because Rob, we were saying a little while ago, it's not that I think that the state or the district has done a poor job, not at all. That's not at all. I'm saying they've done great jobs, but it's always seemed like we've done our own things, and we've done great things separately. And I feel like it would be kind of more synergistic if our some would be greater than the parts if we did it together and we shared our resources and shared our expertises. There's some things here that I really keep looking around saying, boy, I wish we had somebody that was really good at this. And whereas I have, or we have people in our party that are really good at things, and maybe another county's looking for that. So I'd love to, swap abilities and swap strengths.
Yeah, I think
work and build it up.
Yeah, the key word there is share. We need to share information, share expertise, and help each other become the best we can be. I think that was lacking. I think 2018 was the first time I was on the district committee, and there really wasn't a lot going on. We had a couple fundraisers, and that was pretty much it. And I thought they were good people. They did a great job.
Sure.
But I'm like, gosh, there's so much more we can do.
Sure. Well, and Dan Wilhan, I've known Norm and I've known Dan for 1,100 years. So Dan's always done a good job, and but I've never ever been involved in what Dan's done on the district other than to read an occasional newsletter. Mm-hmm. So I was never. Now let me ask you this: I don't know a lot about the district. I've never made it. I've not hidden my focus for Livingston County and getting Livingston County people elected. That's my number one focus. But I also understand that we have a bigger picture that we have to exist in. So, and having said that, now I thought I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah,
so about Dan, what he's done a great job, but it's just been different. Oh, I know what I was going to say is, so I don't understand the structure and the, like, who is who over there. So I know, I understand you got a committee. I remember us voting them in record time, all 6 of the little people, off you go, now you're on the committee. Yeah. So you had said something about including the county chairs. Are county chairs automatically part of the 7th district committee? Oh, I want to look at that.
And the chair can appoint somebody to be the representative. But here's the thing.
Okay.
When we didn't have a sitting representative,
right,
Dan and Norm both did a great job having, getting together major donors, raising funds for campaigns. Mm-hmm. And they did exactly what they were called to do. I want to take it to another level and say, not only are we going to keep doing their work, and I have, again, I'm blessed to have them to help me with that aspect, but we need to energize the voters. Yes. We can't have people think, how many people look at you, especially young people, say, well, my vote doesn't count. There's no point.
Right.
We have to say, no, your vote with the other 50,000 people we've got together is going to make a big difference. And if we don't believe it, they're not going to believe it.
That's Joe Hume.
Yes.
Joe Hume lost he lost by 1 vote, and then there was a recount, and he won by 2. So yes, it does. Your vote counts.
Your vote matters, and that's exactly what we're going to keep pushing. We are going to show people how to do it with our initial list. And by the time 2026 rolls around, we're going to have the whole state with great lists and enthusiasm and belief that we're going to take the state and make it hard red. It's not going to be kind of red. It's not going to be purple in any sense.
No more purple with a red hue.
It's going to be red.
Good. Carolyn Henry, our prosecutor, just chimed in, said hi to Dan Schifko. Sorry she's late for the podcast. She's looking forward to watching the full episode. Carolyn, we're glad you're here.
Wow, that's a huge thing for the podcast.
It is.
Yeah.
We love Carolyn.
And
Carolyn did a great job on this podcast a couple weeks ago.
She was amazing.
Yeah, she was.
And Carolyn, another person that we are just so blessed to have.
Yes.
Honest to goodness, I look at our elected officials in our county, and I'm like, if I ever got in trouble, I'd want to be in Livingston County where I know I'd get a really fair shake.
You get a fair shake, but they're doing the right things, and they're doing for the right reasons. And
although I never do anything I can get in trouble for the record.
No.
Yes, because this is a record. So
no, because you're afraid of your wife. No.
Hey, I had a good fear of my
That's
father.
a healthy fear.
My father was a wonderful man, but I believed he would beat me if I did something bad.
Yeah.
Never did, but I believed he would. And now I look at my wife and I say, I will not disappoint her. I'm not going to do
That's
anything.
Right. There you go. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I remind Jay all the time, he's not supposed to do stupid things too. So.
That's why we
No, we are.
God gave us the right
we,
wives.
we gave us the right, yes, we have the right spouses, all of us here. So, well, this has been a wonderful discussion. I am so looking forward to, energizing with you. I know that, I have tried to, throw that kind of same, energy into our party, and I think it's starting to pay off. We're getting more and more people coming forward. I was saying earlier, I asked for our membership list, and any new members that have come in, and I've got a list of them. I was so thrilled that we got a bunch of new members that I did not know. Some I did, but some of them I didn't know. And we talked about all the new members that we have, and I gotta believe it's, people are energized, people are doing what things they enjoy doing. We're getting things done, and people are enjoying being part of something that actually functions and is getting stuff done. People aren't going to get excited about coming to a group or to an organization or to a party that sits and talks or just does nothing other than talks or fights or which is worse.
Yes.
But even if they're not fighting, but they're just sitting and talking and not actually doing things. So we're trying to, with our social which is coming up Thursday. You should come to the Brighton Brewery Thursday, 6:00 for dinner, 7:00 for just networking. People are enjoying that. Our meetings have been restructured. Have you been to one of our meetings?
I have.
Whoa, you buzz right through those.
That's the way to do it.
Deb's trying to break all my records.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Those are in my rearview mirror now, buddy.
Well,
we went record convention. We did everything.
You don't stop. Every week you have something new up your sleeve. It's inspiring.
It's not me. It's a team. I have a great team around me, and I keep picking up new people on the team. Someone calls me and says, "Hey, did you ever think about this?" Why, yes, it's a great idea.
And you make them a chair that idea.
I do.
That's how it's done.
Yes. That is.
And then you give them the support they need.
That's right. Absolutely. My people, they'll tell you, I don't get in their way. I might, we set up boundaries right from the beginning, and then off they go. So
yeah,
that's just the way to do it. But I'm loving what I'm doing. I think you're loving what you're doing, and I think, I love my team. I love the people around me. Rob is a great second in command. He's great for me to bounce ideas off of. He's not afraid or intimidated to tell me, what are you thinking? We've had many disagreements, and many times I've called him candid thoughts, as he says, yes. Where we've called each other up, and then a day or two later, oh, you were right. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I admit you're right. So that's
So you're being open-minded.
Oh yeah, not empty-minded. Yes, open-minded.
Yeah. And that's the key. And just so everybody out there, I love you just said that, because on the surface in public, we're cohesive. We're all marching east. Yeah. It's not that we all listen to one person. It's that we have our arguments, and then we go public.
That's right.
With
the
idea.
That's right.
Yeah. And we say, okay, maybe I don't like that idea as much as everybody else, but we've all agreed that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it enthusiastically and together.
Well, and I think we talked earlier that one of the big, if you remember, at our strategic plan, when we talked about what are our goals here, what's the major things. I don't think there was one person that around that, all those people there that didn't say they wanted unity. Mm-hmm. And so we've had to kind of have discussions since then on what unity is. Unity doesn't mean we all agree. Unity means that even when we don't agree, we stand by one another, and that is a big difference. And that's something that we can't survive without. And I will tell you something. That is something I'm very sorry to say that the Democrats learned way before we did. They tend to stand by one another when even when they disagree about things or when they're in different positions.
Well, not no more.
Well,
they always hate us.
The brats are, that's their bonding agent. Their bonding glue right now. So their bonding agent is hatred toward us. Well, that's not coming from a healthy place.
And when you had your strategic meeting, I really wasn't sure what I was going to think about it, but you asked me to come, and I did, and I left there saying, you gave everybody a voice, and everybody feels that they can have a part in our county party,
Mhm.
and that alone was worth. What were we there for? Like 3 or 4 hours?
Oh, no, it was more than that. It was all day. It was 9 to
Oh, yeah.
4. 9 to 4.
But it seemed like
Actually,
that
our
day.
AC
Well,
did
that's-
8:30. We did that meeting that day.
But
It's pretty grueling, but it's, the output is just amazing.
But we left thinking my voice matters, and
Mhm.
that's the whole point. Making everybody know, strategic planning is about all of us. It's not about getting marching orders. It's helping form a
Yes,
plan.
no,
And-
there's no marching orders at all. It's the other way around.
Matter of fact, there was 2 or 3 people at that meeting I've become very good friends with since.
Well, good.
There you
Well, good. Good. That's good to know.
So real quick about money.
Okay.
So,
You want to donate some?
well, here's the deal. If I want to know how to give away some more money to the LCRP, it's real quick. I can figure it out. If I decide I want to give away some more money to the GOP, then it's real quick. I can find out, how do I give money to the seven? I've never given money to the 7 District. How do I do that?
Well, I'm gonna form the basics of that with my April 10th meeting. Before Memorial Day, we'll have a website up and running. You'll be able to go online and donate. You'll be getting for all the counties that give me proper email lists. You'll be knowing what our fundraisers are, where you can go. So it will
Okay.
be way easier. And you're right. It was very hard.
It's in the plans.
It's before Memorial Day comes, you're going to be able to go online, see our site, donate, sign up for events.
Okay.
Our events will be open to everybody and anybody. If we have any dump plants, we'll have Murphy throw them out for us.
Okay.
Cool.
That'll
Or
be
Tyler.
Well, you have anything else you want to add about what you're doing or what you want to do or your thoughts?
I think we've covered that pretty well.
Okay.
I'm really happy to be working with you. If I can get the rest of the county chairs to follow your lead and to take some of your training, I think our whole district is
Oh,
going to shine.
you'll have no trouble. You're doing a great job and bringing everybody together. I look forward to getting the notice on the different meetings, and we're gonna bring Dan in every so often to kind of report. So, and you can always give me a call too and let me know, hey, Deb, I got something I want to get out to everybody. Something happened,
Yes.
so that'll be it. And we've got Tom on the show next week, and so it's going to be great to hear from him, and he'll be able to kind of wrap up as well. So,
Yeah, he'll be on our April 10th meeting as well.
oh, good. All right. Well, thanks, Dan, for coming. Always great to see you. Always great to talk to you. And we're going to go to a commercial, and we'll be back to wrap it up.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks again.
Hey, what do you say? This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we could throw it and drive. With the radio
Commercial.
I am Jay Drick, Chairman of the Board, Livingston County Commissioners. We are a constitutional and 2A county. We have the lowest tax millage rate and the lowest unemployment in the state. Livingston is rated one of the healthiest and safest counties in Michigan. Livingston has a balanced budget and an elite AAA bond rating, the highest possible. These 9 commissioners strive for smaller government. Our Republican values save taxpayers over $4 million in 2024 alone. We believe Elon copied us.
Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce you or marry me chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
And we're back. My co-host has decided to join me here at the end and wrap up another good episode. Murphy was just, full of good information, and I'm really looking forward to having Jason Plus on the show. I think that's going to be.
He's a hell of a guy.
I know him. I don't know him as well, so it's going to be odd that there's going to be an actual elected official in the line that I don't know really, really well. That's going to feel weird to me.
You know what I'm super
I got to
excited
go lunch
about?
with him or something.
I might skip. That's how damn excited
Wow.
I am. Yeah, this is really excited. So you got Murphy.
We video that.
Yeah. We probably, do it in slow motion so I can look like a man. So anyways, Murphy is going to be one great lawmaker.
Yes, he is.
I mean, there's nobody that understands what was done in 2023. I mean, there's 400 and some odd bills that passed
Right.
that I would challenge. All of them are unconstitutional, and it's going to take people like Murphy getting in there to actually lead the charge to create the fixes.
Start undoing this.
And he's a heck of a fixer, so that's great. And then I've had the pleasure of spending time with Jason Pless several times. Incredible moral compass, great guy, great decision tree making. He's going to make one heck of a great sheriff. So I'm really pumped up about that too.
Good.
And you know what? It's kind of like you were talking about, setting the bench. When Deb Drick decides she doesn't want to be chair anymore, which 90 years from now, when it happens, then we need to have somebody else that says, hey, maybe I want to take on that job that's 120 hours a week, and it goes till 2 in the morning.
And not only do you not make money, you end up costing you money.
Don't worry though, you got no time to make money. So it's good. It's a good job. Everybody loves it. Every previous chair thought it was the best position ever. Let's see what I'm saying. We need people to get involved and set those benches, and that's what we've done with the sheriff's office.
Agreed.
That's awesome.
It is.
That is
and
awesome.
It's what I really like about Murphy, and an advantage that I know he has, and he probably knows he has, but a lot of people don't, is, he was talking earlier about, he's not an expert on things, and that's true. They don't go up there. They might have their, he might be public safety. He's got an expertise there.
Yeah.
But let's say that there's a law that comes up, or something's got to vote on either in committee or out of committee about a change in funeral home procedures.
Yeah.
Well, who on earth knows that? Well, I would tell you, people that own funeral homes in the county. And he's been here long enough that he knows who the people are. It's not like he just got here 5 years ago and he's got to figure out, all right, who's the funeral. He can call him and say, all right, explain this to me. Do I want to support this? Why? If I don't want, why don't I? And it's interesting because now I never worked for Livingston County. I worked many years there, and I worked for various places, on all sides of the state, including the UP. But there were times when I had to, when we were faced with a public safety issue, we would call the district people, but I would always call Murphy and say, here, this is not your district, but it is a law. What is your input here? Do you think this is going to fly? Do you think it isn't? And he every time gave me a perspective, because you can sit in Lansing and think of things that might be good ideas, or that you think are good ideas, or that sound like good ideas, or you listen to other people's good ideas, right? But unless you're in those seats, there is a step that most don't have. That's why I feel county commissioners have an advantage. I'm not saying they make the best, but they have an advantage when they go to the state, because they know the big word, and the big word is application. There's a difference between coming up with a great idea and knowing how to apply it, and what would stop it, what's not, what won't work with it, what will hold it up. And I think Mike is a great one, that he'll know the application between what it takes to apply. It's one thing to say, hey, I wanna make sure X happens forever. Well, what does X take to? Is it just something that you can say and everybody does? Is there training that has to be given?
And he'll know how it impacts the people.
He will.
You know what I mean? The workforce that it's going to apply to, or whatever. He's going to know how that applies.
Yes.
You know, he's ran big budgets. You know,
Yes,
he's ran
yes,
huge,
yes.
huge amounts of employees.
Well, here's the other thing. This is the most important thing, because he is who he is, in the position he is. He has had to take state laws on when the state changes a law on criminal justice, for example, or public safety, and sends it to him. He now knows what has to happen in order to apply it. And that is something that the state lawmaker doesn't often know what it's going to take to apply it. And there are times, you know, when I'd call him and I'd say, Mike, what do you think of this? And he'd give me the application part of it that I would have never thought of, because the legislators wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And he would say, well, that sounds like, in theory, that's how he was always, I always knew when I was going to get something, because he'd say, well, in theory, that's a great idea. And I, oh boy, here we go. Out come the pen. And here's the problem. Yeah, here's but it was in theory, that sounds like a great idea. But the reality of the situation is you'd have to first put all this equipment in, and then you'd have to monitor it. Then you'd have to pay staff to monitor it. Meanwhile, I'm like, this is the chair.
You know, the other thing is that he's already, in Livingston County, he's already had to work with constituents on both sides of the aisle, right?
Yes.
So he's well used to, yeah, and he's used to trying to reach out to the other side and seeing what kind of consensus he can get, you know. So when we win back the House and Senate and governorship, we're going to want to work with our Democrat brothers and sisters as much as we can. And you know what? Mike is one of those people that can do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I think that, I encouraged him. We talked a little bit as he was kind of making this decision. And I told him, this is, I'm going to give, based on my experience there, I'm going to give him a piece of advice. And that piece of advice is this: think about your trajectory. Do you want to end up as the Secretary of State? If so, it's not too soon. People, oh no, you got time. No, you don't. Because if you want to be the speaker, let's say he wants to, not speaker, if he wants to be the Senate Majority Leader, right, 4 years from now, 4 years after he gets in, he has to start acting like a Senate Majority Leader now, which means you're not going to run around like a chicken with your head cut off trying to get all your bills passed. You're going to want to help other people get bills. You're going to raise money and help other people get fixed. That's how you become a Senate Majority Leader. Has to be somebody that the rest of the senators feel confident that they're going to be looking out for them, that they're going to be helping them, that's got their back. That's who you want. So that's the kind of stuff you have to do now. If he wants to be the Secretary of State, let's say in 8 years, he will have to, you want to get on elections committee right away, because you've got a big old fatty learning curve. So it's stuff like that he really needs to think about now. And that's a piece of advice I gave him. And like I said, he's given me plenty of advice. So it's a good, I felt okay. Okay, let me give you some now. In theory, it sounds like a great idea. You can wait, but you can't. You got to really look at it.
And I love that he has the support of the sitting state Senator Lana Tice.
Agreed.
That's amazing. The synergy that Livingston County has. I mean, really, other counties could really model off of what is happening here in Livingston County.
I agree.
And I'm super proud of this county.
I am too. Yeah. I could not be. Then we had we had a clerk. He had a big award, the Sunshine Award.
Oh yeah.
She was recognized at the commission meeting last night. That was
Elizabeth Hunley.
She's done a fantastic job.
Sweetheart of a lady.
Yeah, she's a fantastic clerk. I have heard other clerks over time.
And she never tutored her own horn. She never shared that herself. No, she's so modest.
Other people did.
Yep, everybody else. Yep.
And that's the way to do it. But she had a clerk come up. Another resolution was passed in Putnam Township to put in an EMS there and station in Putnam Township for the commission. It was great. Also in Cahata, woo! So we're good. The goal is going to drive those numbers down for response time. Every minute counts when it comes like that. So I'm very proud of our commissioners for putting together, putting public safety first, and spending the money on 2 new stations to help people when, in a critical moment. But, and the clerk got up and she was thanking people for that. She was thanking people for other decisions she made. As a matter of fact, they agreed to rent the county agreed to rent the property out to the Putnam Township for $1 a year for 99 years, and she went around and got 99 residents to give $1. So she had a big envelope for $99. Here, let me pay your lease in advance.
That's
So,
awesome.
but she stood up and she thanked Elizabeth, saying, you know, you mentored us. You're the mentor to all of us. You've always been helping us. So we're blessed to have the commission. We're blessed to have the sheriff. We're blessed to have, you know, everybody, right? To all the electeds in Livingston County, the countywide electeds.
It's so true.
They
I mean,
are
literally, I
wonderful.
can't look in a direction in Livingston
Right.
County and see where we don't have great leadership.
Agreed.
This
Agreed.
is pretty awesome.
And it makes our job easy. It really does. It makes it
Like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, they make us look good, and that's terrific.
Oh,
But yeah, like I said, all of them.
Yeah.
And you know who else that it really impresses me, and this is also due to the commissioner's savviness, is our county administrator.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, you know, he's not elected, so
Nope.
you know, and he, you know, doesn't beat a political drum. So, but you know, I've watched him, and I've watched how he you know, he's very. I have watched Livingston County Commission and admin for many years, all way back. And I will tell you something. I have seen over the years, and I think we all have. I've seen over the years where we've had administrators, and I've seen it really in the other counties too, where you have administrators that are that consider themselves the 10th commissioner.
Yeah.
And that is, and I've never seen him do that. I watched his interview, and I was sold on him the minute I saw him and listened to what he said and listened to his manner, and I have yet to be disappointed in anything he's done. He's a very big support to his commission. He doesn't try to challenge them. I mean, he tries to advise them legally, but
that's
he
the
doesn't fight
secret
with
sauce,
them. Isn't it?
It's a secret sauce. Okay, so everybody in Livingston County that's serving Livingston County understands they are public servants,
Right.
and so they comport themselves that way.
Yes.
You know, you go into a different county, I don't know, you know, someplace else, Washington, and, and maybe they don't act the same way. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Right.
They don't act
No,
that
they
way.
don't.
So this, you know, this is a big deal here, where the humility is strong here. Pride is, you know, we don't,
Right.
you know, we have no place for that, and we just simply work together. It's a secret sauce. If we could can that throughout Michigan, ooh, be big.
Well,
now,
we got 2 years to can something.
we
that's for
do,
sure.
and what about this Dan guy for 7th District Chair? That
Oh
guy,
my gosh.
he's pretty impressive.
Yes.
You know, he's humble.
been around a while. Yes, he
He's
is.
humble.
He is very humble.
It looks like he will listen to new ideas. He's very receptive to new directions. And you know what? We're going to need new ideas, a new offense in 2026, and we got to come up with that offense right now.
Sure.
You know, we can't wait until the last second. We'll just have a concerted effort and no real plan, right?
Right.
And without a strategic plan,
Right.
we won't know what to shoot for. You know?
Oh, that just paid off for us big time last year and this year with dividends. That strategic plan.
Yeah.
Any organization watching this, if you don't have a strategic plan, you are in the middle of in the middle of the ocean in a rubber life raft with neither a compass nor a oar. You're gonna go somewhere. You just don't, wherever the wind blows you. So the strategic plan gives you the compasses and the oars, and it's a great way to get everybody's input. So we've got a great EC, and we've got great Republicans that even aren't on the EC, and they're terrific with their ideas. So I have been meeting with, as a matter of fact, okay, anybody out there hasn't met with me, you're listening, contact me. I still want to meet with you. I'm not giving up. I know we got a couple of people that are really busy, but I'm looking to meet, and I get the ideas that I get from meeting with our members are fantastic, and our electeds. So, you know, everybody has to give input. You know, everybody has a different idea. So here's speaking of our commission, here's Jay. The chemistry between you two radiates and is palpable. Super podcast, and the strategy day was fueled by great food, courtesy of 2 patrons, one of which is on the podcast right now. So, Robin.
I love that.
No, it wasn't. It was not. It was Robin. Rob picked it up, but it was Frank and Jay that Frank and Jay paid for it. So, But so we got a three-way to both. So yes, I'll tell you something, Robin. It's
What?
been great. It's great to have you back here today.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the co-hosts I've had. It's been fun having different co-hosts, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that your time opens up so that you're here with us more often.
You know, I am working hard so that I might be able to attend more of these podcasts.
Good.
But I love what's happening here. So the synergy, and just because I'm not on it doesn't mean I'm not in it,
Oh,
right?
no,
So
yep.
so I'm doing what I do really the best, guys. I'm behind the scenes. I'm trying to make this infrastructure work for Deb. Deb collects all the ideas from other people, and she gets her own ideas and maybe some from me, and she makes it happen. That's her job. So what our job is, all of us, is to make sure that we all reach out to Deb and say, hey, I can do these things.
Mm.
And she'll put you on a list. And trust me, Deb is an enabler. She will make sure that you get a job that
Yes, I
does
will.
exactly that. And
Yes,
you
I
know what? We'll all go east and
Yeah.
we'll all go a direction.
We'll all go the same way.
But what we cannot do is this lady is moving 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Mhm.
So we cannot allow her to do everything herself.
No.
That is not going to succeed the party. Everything we won, we will lose if we don't support her. So I challenge everybody who's listening, everybody who listens to this, that you need to support the LCRP, you need to support Deb. And by doing that, we're supporting all of Livingston County,
Right.
which has over 100,000 Republicans, as best I can guess. So.
And this is not, by supporting, we don't mean, work like a dog and spend
Yes, I
40
do.
hours.
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
all
Yeah,
right, right,
yeah. I
know.
mean that to the bone. The pay is
and that-
great. It's all hugs. So hopefully you like to get hugged. Mostly Dad, but sometimes I'll hug you. Yeah, it's just the way it goes.
Gets pushed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I mean, like I said, I have people email me or call me and say, look, this is what I'm good at. Could you use that? And yes, let me think of a good way.
There you go.
Sure enough, I'll be doing something. And just today, I got an email yesterday. Hey, I'm good at this and this, but I don't want to do this and this. Okay, got it down. And then something came up today, and I wrote back. I said, this is what I think. Oh, I'm great at that. Good. You handle that, and I'll be waiting for the results, and I'll let you know what that is as it happens when I get the results back. But it's you don't have to. You don't have, if you're not a door knocker, you're not a door knocker. We need door knockers. There's no doubt about that. But if you're not a door knocker, don't think you can't help. Chair at livingstonrepublicans.com. Just tell me, this is what I have for time. This is what I'm good at. This is what I like to do. And this is what I like to do. And I want to do that. And we'll find a way to put you in your happy spot. If you have a friend you want to do things with, great. We'll make it a team effort.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. So, we're real good at that. So we got new members. So anybody watching this podcast, if you're not a member, right down here somewhere, look at, I'm getting better at finding that.
Oh yeah.
It's
getting closer. It's getting closer now.
Yeah. So we can join with us and join at the best level you can. The money gets spent on candidates.
So Deb, what if you're not from Livingston County? Can you still join?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
What
and we'll
a
still
deal.
let you help us. And
What a deal! And we have plenty of people who do that.
yes, we
Okay,
do. We
yeah,
have out of town people that
yeah.
join because they're in a neighboring community, and especially like the south of us, they have a very small, they have a much smaller bandwidth, so they might join in Washtenaw and in here, and they come and do things with us. And again, go ahead.
Some people join multiple parties,
Yep,
and
they
there's
do.
nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
That's a great deal.
It is.
Maybe you can't give any time because you don't have any time, but you got like a bunch of money and you don't know what to do with it.
Look at
There you
this.
go.
Look at this. Hi, Julia from Wayne County. See,
How
there
you
you go.
doing?
You can join us. We're good with you.
Hi, Julia.
We have our, as I said earlier, we have our social on Thursday. That's at it's in Brighton at Grand River Brewery on Main Street. And 6 o'clock if you want to have dinner with us. And it's informal, come comfortable, come with if you come from work, that's fine. If you want to come comfortable, that's fine too. 6 o'clock, we have dinner, right off the menu. It's not like you just order what you want. And then 7 to 9 people show up. And
So beer, food,
beer, food,
networking,
pop, water, whatever you want. And yeah.
Beer.
Okay, well,
okay. So yeah.
Well, it's a brewery, so you can get some good stuff. So yeah, you don't have our. So Julia in Wayne County, you come out here to Brighton, and we have a brewery for you.
There you go.
So we love meeting new people, and like I said, I sent away to Jessica Bearfield and Jim Detling and asked them for the membership list, and Jessica right away sent me a long list. I was shocked. I was thrilled. Look at all those new names. This is terrific. So want to welcome them, and I hope any of them that watch show up so we can welcome them publicly. Yeah. And right around the corner, here we are at almost April, first Thursday of April. We are at REMAX at the
EC
meeting. Yeah. Yes. And our EC meeting is streamlined at night.
Another new record?
It's hard. I don't think I need to really keep chopping them. I think our last one was a good pace. We got a lot of good information, but we didn't beleaguer anything. I believe at our next one we have Representative Posthumous coming to talk about his ballot initiative.
Nice.
And so that's coming. So make sure you come to that. He's going to explain that ballot initiative and why it's important. So we're looking forward to having him there. So next week on our podcast, I'm going to have my co-host will be Commissioner Nick Biani.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I know. He's fun. It's fun because Jay's phone talks to him right now. And when Nick calls, it says, call from Nick Finney. So with Jay, whenever I see him, Nick Finney, how are you doing? So Nick Finney will be with us next week as my co-host, and we're gonna have 3 guests. I gotta make a whole new flyer now and squish them down. 3 guests. We're gonna have Congressman Tom Barrett.
Holy cow!
Patch in from Washington to talk about his legislation.
Whoa.
We have the Appropriations Chair herself, Representative Ann Boland. That's gonna come in. She's gonna be here. She's gonna talk about the budget and anything else she's got going on, and anything else she wants to talk about. And then, as a interesting. Okay, this is for all you Genoa Township people. We've got Trustee Bill Ryber coming in to talk about the PUD in Genoa Township. That's been the big issue forever. Is what they flipped the whole board, all 4 trustees and a clerk and a supervisor.
That dude's really smart.
Oh, he is. Bill's really incredibly smart.
Yeah.
And so he's going to come in and he's going to talk. Really, I think that those situations. There's 2 different PUDs and they're causing all kinds of hoopla. And we just want to make sure that as this program is to explain the Republican side of things, we want to make sure people have the right information of what's going on, what that PUD is, why people are supporting it, why people are not supporting it, what are the pitfalls, what are the benefits, and just kind of give that kind of history of what's happened thus far and where we are with those. There's 2 of them, I believe. And he'll talk about that. And so that's an interesting thing for you, Genoa Township. But I don't think I think it's more people than Genoa Township that should be watching this, because this isn't the only place urban development's going to be coming. So, it's a good thing for any community to watch, because could be, your community next. So it's kind of like the solar farms, except first thing Mark did, I was talking about, so we're here to talk about solar farms. He scolded me. It is called a solar, what did he call it?
What the hell was that called?
It was a corporate solar
development. Park or something?
Not like park, it was like a structure.
It was really big technical term.
It's a corporate solar structure or something like that. I said, okay, well, I'm at school. But, we still call it solar farm.
Yeah, solar farm. We don't know. Yeah, he's not here. Put it in the chat. We got it wrong. This is what it is.
We got it wrong. Yeah. So, but whatever it is, I sat between him and Kelly looking like I was watching tennis.
You're ping pong.
Yeah, I was watching the back and forth. I didn't, every so often, do you play
me? Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, because,
real knowledge.
I mean, you have a lot of content to add, but when you have guests to just occupy the whole time giving content,
that's right.
It's like, wow, that's what we're here for.
So, all right, well, that's wrapping up. You got anything more?
Yeah, so we need to make sure that everybody's doing something right now. So the people who are watching right now, I challenge you to send the YouTube link for this show to 10 of your friends.
Just 10 of your friends, okay? And what we want to do is we want to build a subscriber list. Right now we're at 72. Whee! And
Not
okay,
bad for a brand new
not
thing.
bad for a
We
brand
can
new.
do better though.
Now here's the deal: we're getting thousands of views for each show, so that's great. I mean, we're getting out there, but we want to have a footprint where we can get to tens of thousands of people.
Right.
And so with your help, we can get there. If we do it alone, by the time Deb's 90, we'll have the people that we want.
Yeah, no.
She'll still be chair, and it is what it is, right? So we got to help her get there before then. So I challenge everybody who's out there:
Yeah.
10 friends.
Yeah.
If you're Mexican, 20 friends,
right.
okay? Because you got a lot of friends. So and just get them subscribing to our YouTube channel.
One other thing I want to get on this show here, so future wish list. So that's the other thing too. Give me some wish
Good
lists of
idea.
who should we have here. So let me tell you who's on mine. Well, as of tonight, Jason Plus is on my. I'm coming for you, Jason.
Yes.
So
yes.
we want Jason on here. We want to meet him, and like I said, I feel awkward not knowing. I got to take him to lunch or something, get to know him. If I don't know a elected official, that feels weird.
He's a good dude. You're gonna love him.
Yeah, I heard wonderful things about him,
Yeah.
so I'm looking forward to it. So we're gonna get I'd like to get Jason Plus on here. The Statons, our wonderful membership team, they are coming back from Florida anytime now. I'm counting down the minutes. So
There's no snow here, Stanton.
that's right. It's
Come
all
back
gone. Come home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't tell 'em
E.T.
snow
phone,
yesterday.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
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 E.T. phone home. So Stans are coming home, and when they get home, I want them on this list to talk about membership.
There you
They've
go.
got some real good challenges coming up. So
Yep.
I want you to be able to hear that here. And has anybody heard of a lady? I don't remember her name, Katie, but she does this, the reels, and whether you like Instagram or you follow TikTok or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you go on Facebook, you see those reels, and they're real easy to get sucked into and watch them. But I saw this woman from Great Britain. She's from I don't know, England somewhere, and she's got the heavy British accent, but she is absolutely solid, staunch, loves Trump, and she constantly compares the left-leaning England stuff to Trump and to what we're doing here. And it is absolutely hysterical how she says it. She starts off with going, "Yes, here we are at batshit bonkers Britain." That's her thing. And her name is Katie. So I wrote to her and I said, "All right, I'm a brand new fan. I love what you say. I love what you do. We have a podcast in a very red county that also doesn't know who you are. Why don't you pop in for 20 minutes? Tell us about what's going on."
That's so awesome.
The first one, the secretary was like, "Well, she's busy. She got a UK tour. She's gonna do this." And I wrote back again. I said, "Look, nobody here. This is the reddest spot, one of the reddest spots in our state, and nobody knows her." I said, "You got books you want to sell, and you got followers you need." I said, "This is a place to get them." So she wrote back. She goes, "Well, she loved your podcast idea, so she'll be reaching out." So
Nice.
we'll be getting to her sometime in the summer. She got to finish with her tour, but
Sweet.
she's a comedian. But she is. If you ever, I don't know, her name is Katie something. Find her. Batshit bonkers Britain. And she is hysterical. I might play one of her things next time.
That's pretty cool.
But so anybody else, so if there's chair at LivingstonRepublicans.com. Send me your ideas, or during the podcast, post who you'd like to get here, and we'll get. Got an interest. I know we got coming up in the hopper. I think Kevin Rinke's going to be on here pretty soon.
April 15th was it? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Tax day.
Tax day. That's right. He's coming, and he'll be talking. Well, we'll be finding out. I want to have a discussion with him. I don't think that he's going to declare for anything, but I do want to discuss with him kind of what do we need? What do you see in a Senate race that we need? What do you see in a gubernatorial race we need, whether it's him or not?
He definitely has that high level view of, just some small, I mean, he thinks nothing of it because, he lives in our state. But there's these little insights and you're like, holy crap, that happens?
I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great insights for us because we don't get exposed to that over here. Yeah.
And I got an interesting call a couple days ago from Mike Rogers, and said, he's considering jumping back in, wanted my thoughts, and we talked about a few things, and first thing I told him was, why don't you come on the podcast and talk a little bit? So I gave him this date. He's supposed to get back with me, so we'll hear from him before too long too. I know Jessica is working hard on our Lincoln Day. We're hoping to have that in May. So we got a couple options for speakers. I think,
I'm available if you
Yeah.
need a keynote speaker,
yeah,
just so you know.
no, I wish we just hear somebody.
I can talk for like
Yeah,
2
we know.
hours if you want.
We know.
I'm not shy.
No, we'll have you. We'll have you up there doing something. There'll be no doubt about that.
Sweet.
So,
She's gonna have me juggling. That's what she's gonna have me.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go. Great. It worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna be some kind of like,
I know.
lottery thing
I know.
or something. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
thanks. And we have Tyler over there, we appreciate Tyler. He's over there manning the commercials and making sure our mics are shut off when we're off camera. I'm not always good at that. I talk and don't shut it off. So he's our techie over there. So he was working, and we're experimenting with sound. We have our little lapel mics.
Yeah, so we got the new lapel mics. I think we're over modulating a little bit, which means we're a little hot.
Yeah.
So
We'll have
any
to play with that a
input
little
you
bit.
can give on that would be good too. And also our major sponsor. Yeah.
Yes,
So
Jason Hunley.
yeah,
Yes.
Jason Hunley. What a great dude.
Yep.
Chris Bear, love you, man. You're the best.
So yeah, he's a great guy. He's been a major sponsor. He's supposed to send me a commercial, so that I won't have to keep reading things, but
You know what?
I'll just keep reading. Whatever he wants me to do, he's got it.
That website, did you go to that website?
Yes.
That's pretty
Great.
sweet.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a great website.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it, and I love what he sent you for things to say. And actually, you say it really eloquently.
Well,
You ever thought of doing voiceovers? I mean, you could do it. You could do it. Just saying. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe my voice is distinctive, so
It is.
I think that
Let's listen to this UK lady. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, she's very distinctive too. But I used to sing jingles for a radio station in Lansing. They'd call me up when they had a jingle, and they talked about the voices in the radio, and he told me that having a unique voice, either talk or sing, it because you get used to hearing that same voice. And I know this as a trainer. You have to vary your voice, or you have to different people pop in, because eventually your ears will shut it out. So
we need to talk about one other thing.
Sure.
You organized and put together a St. Patty's Day parade
my gosh.
for the first time in I think 3 or 4 years. So that is pretty cool.
Hang on a second.
That is pretty cool. We can't show it.
We can't show that.
No,
We can. We can.
No,
You just. Well, there's a different way. The way I did it last week was I pulled it up and then I just hit share.
So do me a favor and grab a couple of photos and share them the next podcast.
I just played the video.
Oh, that's a good one
From
too.
See, if you go to Facebook and then hit share screen, you can bring that up.
Oh, you can do that.
You can do that. See.
Yeah, it's very long.
I know. Well, maybe there's better ways, but all right, I'll figure it out.
But
anyway,
I loved the fact that you put the effort into it.
Yep.
I think if you think
Again,
about that,
great team.
Yep. I think about if you think about that, it's wonderful that Deb spearheaded that. But while she's spearheading that, she can't look at the global picture. So if we had somebody who spearheaded those kinds of fun things, so I'm thinking somebody who loves parties, somebody who loves to decorate, somebody who loves fun stuff.
Yeah, I've got a couple people in mind.
Yeah. So reach out to her.
Yeah, we had, and it wasn't just me. I mean, I don't want to take credit for that, because it was, an idea of somebody completely different. And then we had, well, actually, it's Brian Ignatowski that had the idea, and he sent me the information, and then we went from there. And Joni and Tom Econom were absolutely priceless coming up and helping.
Amazing, aren't they?
And Norris Hardiman.
Yeah, Norris, great dude.
I know, they were wonderful. And the four of us worked several days on this float. Joni and I toured freaking Michigan looking for St. Patty's Day stuff. Easter stuff was out. We were like 3 weeks out.
So don't try to order your supplies a few days before the event. Is that what you're saying?
It wasn't. It was it was like even a few weeks. Because, right now they've just about got Halloween stuff out. Yeah. So you got to get that, so anyway, but we all had such a good time. And again, we owe Commissioner Sample, big time thanks. He got us the flatbed. Yeah. And he He drove us in the parade. He hauled us through the
And
parade.
generous Commissioner
Yes,
Jay Drick.
Jay and Jason Wolford did a
Oh.
bidding war.
Oh yeah.
We got $300 donation for the donation for the stuff.
That was
So
a
that
smart
helped. And then
move.
the other one that helped out was Mike Carney.
Oh,
We
okay.
couldn't have done any of it. We could have had all the decorations. We could have had the flat bud. We could have had the driver. But if we didn't have an indoor place to store a 20-foot trailer, there was no way we were going to do it. And Mike Carney gave us the old fire station there in
Nice.
on 36 over there.
And Bill Reiber was there.
Bill Reiber helped us. Yeah, Bill Reiber learned Facebook Live that day. He learned how to do it. And if you go to Livingston County, the Livingston Republicans, the one that says official,
Yeah.
you'll see one of the things Bill saying is this live? I finally looked at it and said, oh my God.
It's okay, Bill.
It's okay.
Because when we see things that are live, there's no sound on to start out with. Not until it gets into
it was live. It was live. He did it live.
I'm trying to tell Bill it's okay.
No, it was not okay.
And then we also, at that same event, I think, didn't I see Representative Wolford there?
Yeah, Representative Wolford was there. Brandon Gashowski was there.
Oh, there you go.
We had Dennis Brennan from the Putnam Township area was there, and we had just had Candy Hovetter from Hovetter. Hovetter.
Yeah.
Hovetter.
Yeah.
She
as good as I can pronounce it.
I'm terrible at that. But she's from the she's a Genoa Township trustee. She came and handed out candy.
Sweet.
So Candy handed out candy. So we had a great time. We had such a good time. We're already locked in. We were talking last night, Joni, Tom, and Frank, Commissioner Sample, and Norris. We were talking last night about how we're going to do 4th of July. You don't do political stuff at Memorial Day. That's frowned upon. But 4th of July is open season, so we may be doing I know Fowlerville is at 7 at night, so we want to do that one. So we'll have to figure out 1 in the morning, either Brighton or Cohocton or Gregory, one of them. So, but we're gonna be doing that parade. So yes, I know I had somebody reach out the other day and tell me they want to do help with events. They don't have a ton of time, but they would like to help. So I'm gonna kind of reach out to her this coming week and kind of say, well, tell me what time you do have. Do you want to take on many events? Do you want to take on one and just call it a day? And that's just fine. So, but anybody watching this, please reach out. We do have such a good time.
You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
I got a great team. It's not me, it's a team. I got great support. The people around me are doing great stuff. So
But
all I gotta do is take their ideas.
I can say kudos to you because you won't say it about yourself, but I can say it to you. And I know the rest of the people agree. And yes, we're all helping, and that's great. But that's the secret sauce.
A team. Secret sauce is a team. Yeah. It's always been the team. So, all right. Well, thanks, Tyler, for being here. Thanks, Rob, for coming back. Miss you here. Like I said, I always enjoy the other ones, but I do enjoy when you're back. So you gotta make sure you start carving this time out. So, all right. Good night from the right side, and join us next week where we have Congressman Tom Barrett. We have State Representative and Appropriations Chair Ann Boland, and we have Genoa Township Trustee Bill Reiber. Good night.